I don't know. Most people are not going to really care about this, but one of the most innovative and iconic choreographic voices of the 70s and 80s died. Her name was TRISHA Brown. This is actually affecting me quite a bit. I had an opportunity to perform one of her dances, which in the dance community is a huge, huge honor. The name of it is called Set and Reset, and that's one of her most famous pieces of work. My junior year of college, one of the company members had come down and auditioned the entire dance department, and I had made it into the piece. The minute we started learning this choreography, I had this like aha moment of, this is why I have danced my entire life. You've been dancing since you're 2, and then your junior year of college, you have the moment of like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing with my life. And to have like somebody's movement define that for you is, to me, like insane. The gratitude and the endless amount of thanks that I could possibly give TRISHA Brown for opening up my eyes to that like absolute fire of dance. And I got to meet her before we performed that dance, and she got to speak at my graduation the following year. So she came down during the concert, and I remember when she walked in, I was like, oh my god, it's TRISHA Brown, it's TRISHA Brown. I just became sort of obsessed with her. I decided that I wanted to go to New York, because that's where her company base is based out of, and do their summer intensive. It was the first time I had ever been to New York City. I went by myself for 2 weeks. My parents said I was insane, but I have never felt so fulfilled in my life. And once I graduated, I knew that I wanted to move to New York City. And my plan was to take as many classes at their studio space as possible and get my face in there and get noticed, and then eventually like hopefully get invited to like a rehearsal to just sit and watch, and then maybe like make it into the company. But unfortunately, the summer before I moved up there, their company had decided to not maintain their own rehearsal space anymore. They decided to pause weekly classes for a while. And I mean, this was literally like right before I moved up there. So I never did get to take any classes while I lived up there, and I was only up there for 9 short months. I realized that the city was not for me, and I was not doing a lot of dancing. I was just basically working to live, and barely at that. So I moved back, and I have still maintained my love for her work. I think it's genius. It's very intellectual. A lot of her work is geared toward geometry and how you can make angles and just like action reaction. It's just very interesting to me, and the style of movement really feel like comfortable for my body. I know over the past few years she's been struggling with Alzheimer's, and she was just getting old. She was 80 years old, but to say that she lived a full life would be an absolute understatement. She pioneered a lot of weird things. A lot of the postmodern era had come from a lot of the things that she was doing. One of her first dance works in the postmodern time of dance was literally like people hanging out of trees and walking down the side of a building, and things that most people wouldn't consider dance. But dance is literally everything, and the people who had kind of bloomed in that era were making really different and wildly large changes and steps inside of what modern dance is now. Trisha Brown has left such an impression on me that I was thinking about getting a tattoo of one of the visual art pieces that she has done. She had a series of visual art pieces that she had sticks of charcoal in her hands and in between her toes, and she would lay on the floor and just roll around, like dancing basically on the ground, and that would be the piece of artwork. There is one in specific that has always caught my eye every time I see it, because I can see a dancer inside of all these random strokes of these pieces of charcoal. So I've always thought that I've wanted to do that, but in order for it to look right, it has to be kind of large, and that kind of scares me a little bit. So I've held off for a really long time, and then the idea of making it into like a watercolor tattoo has crossed my mind too, just so that you can kind of, it can be defined as a human inside of just these squiggly lines. All in all, today was just kind of a weird emotional day for me, which is okay. I think it is good to be able to have emotions freely. Coming from a Cancer, that should be taken with a grain of salt. But no, I do fully believe that. Allow yourself to feel things that you should feel. As I was watching those clips back just now, because I wanted to make sure everything recorded properly, I started crying again watching myself talk about it, because I know it seems silly, but you know, it's like if you have a favorite basketball player, or you know, any athlete or somebody that you idolize that has changed your life in such a significant way. That's what Trisha Brown is to me. She put like this stamp of approval on my career path for dance. I have to remind myself to be extremely thankful for the jobs that I do have, even though I have 100 jobs. I'm just thankful that I don't have to sit at a desk 7 days a week, 5 days a week in front of a computer. I get to be out. I get to inspire people on a daily basis. And in turn, that inspires me. I get to go out and dance. I have a day during the week where I can go and do anything that I want to. I help people heal. I help people on a healthier path of their life. And I just sometimes I think to myself, like, well, what more could you ask for? So whole long tangent. Brooke goes on tangents. Yeah. Woo. Yep. Anyways, thank you for watching. For real, goodbye. I'll see you in the next video. Rascal, do you want to say goodnight? Where are you? He's emerging. There he is. You want to say goodnight, puppy? Alright, guys, goodnight. Bye.